Hello there, it's Paul, Speaker Trainer Pro. I've had a few emails come in asking what it's like to work at the studios. What's a typical day like? So I'll give you an indication. I get paid for a 10-hour day, and all sorts of things can go on during that time. But before I even go to the studios, I always prep online. So I jump onto the website and I have a look at what the shows are all about. And they can change even a few hours before you go to air. They could be changing. So I like to check either the night before, if I'm going to be working early in the morning, or if it's a night shift, then I'll check maybe 6, 7, 8 hours before I even go in. And that gives me a good opportunity to prep and have a good understanding what all of the products are about. If it's something that I've done before, obviously it's very fast, it's very quick. I've got a good understanding of who might like it. If I've done the show several times before, then I tend to look for a little bit of more information, maybe a new angle so we can bring some new life to it. Or if it's something brand new, then I have to do some research. And in addition to that, my last check is prices. I like to do price checks and make sure that we are very, very competitive. It's my favorite, absolute favorite when we beat Amazon. If we can beat Amazon, you know we're in for a winner. So that's what I call a pre-check before I even get to work. And then when I get to the studios, I've got a 10-hour day. So the first 2 hours are about prepping with the team. So there's two ways this could work. The first hour might be an opportunity to meet the team, but if they're on air, I've got to meet them in the second hour. So that's number one thing to find out when the team are available. And so once I know that, I'll either get hair and makeup done and get changed for the shows in the first hour and do some personal prep. And then in the second hour, I prep with the team. And when I say the team, I mean the producer, the assistant producer, and the director. And that'll give us an understanding of what the show's about. Then once we've prepped together, then we can go and see the guest and perhaps the models, if we've got models being used as well. If it's not in the first hour, then I get changed after that. If it is the first hour, I get changed and do the makeup, and then we go and see the team. Once all of that's organised, a couple of things that we really look at in more detail. That's what the opening pitch might be. I personally, the way I like to work is that I don't give you all the information about the particular products. There's no point me telling you everything about a vacuum cleaner and then I go to a guest expert and they tell you everything about the vacuum cleaner. So what I like to do is talk about the problems that a traditional vacuum might create for you. Or if you've got an older vac, is it heavy? Does it not have the vacuum, the suction that it used to have? If you've got a cord on it, all of the problems that you might have from an existing vacuum. Same with the bed, if you've got a mattress, and let's face it, it's very likely that most people have already got a vacuum. It's very likely that most people have already got a mattress. It's very likely that most people have already got a lawnmower. It's very likely that people have already got blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on and on. And so what we're really doing is introducing the idea of the problems that people might have with their current vacuum or lawnmower or stand mixer or mattress, whatever it may be. And I try to talk about the emotional side of things. Once we've done that, then we go over to the guest and we find out a little bit of information about them, a little bit of information about the brand, and then we get talking about the products, and it's all about demonstrations. Television is all about demonstrations. Now, when we get to those products, there are always 3 things that I like to have in my mind that I can talk about. So in the example of, let's say, a vacuum, we talk about it being heavy, or in this case, it being light. And so what I do then is have 3 bullet points for weight. So if it's lightweight, perhaps it's easier if you've got a disability or an illness. Perhaps you're sick and tired of lugging your vacuum around. You find that you're tired. Or perhaps it's so heavy you can't even get it up and down the stairs. So 3 things about that first bullet point. And then I'll move to my second bullet point and try to have 3 things available on that. So for example, a cord. If you've got a corded vacuum, how far can you go from the point before you have to unplug it and plug it back in again? A big one for me is going up the stairs. You get to the top of the stairs and you've got to come all the way back down again. And then you unplug it and you go all the way back up and plug it into bedroom after bedroom after bedroom after bedroom. And of course, if it's got a lead, how long is that lead? And how long does it take you to walk the length of that lead? Maybe 5 or 6 seconds. Or the runtime of a vacuum, it could be anything, it depends on every vacuum, but it could be 30 minutes, it could be 40 minutes, it could be 60 minutes, it could be more than 60 minutes. Some vacuums today run for more than an hour. And so those would be the 3 bullet points on the cord. or being cordless. And then let's pick another one, filtrations. So there's lots of different filtration systems. HEPA is probably the preferred one, highly efficient particulate air filters. And so I'd have 3 bullet points to talk about that. You know, are the filters removable? Are they easy to clean? Why is a HEPA filter so great? Because it picks up even the tiny particles of dust that many vacuums would allow to come out the back. And for example, you can stand behind your older vacuums and you can feel all the air coming out and you get dust in your eyes. So lots and lots of, let's do a third one. So highly efficient particulate air filters, about the low amount of dust or the main amount of dust that it will keep inside it, the fact that they would be washable, and then are they easy to get back? So many times you can get a vacuum, you can take everything out, get the bags out, get the blah 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 out, get the filters out, and you try getting it all back together again. And so then I would demonstrate that for you live. So I call that 3 by 3, so 3 cubed. Whatever those bullet points are, 3 of those. And think about this. If I could tell a story or share an example of each of those points, 3 times 3 is 9. That's 9 minutes of content already. So if you ever watch us and think, how do they talk so much? Well, I bet you I could probably talk 5 minutes on each of those 9 points. That would be 45 minutes. So you could fill an hour show very, very easily and very quickly. But of course, you're not on your own. You've got your guest and you have a chat and you talk about things. And the chances are that we won't even try to do an hour show non-stop. We may do 20 minutes and then repeat 20 minutes and then repeat 20 minutes. Or we might do half an hour and then repeat half an hour. Because so many of the customers will have decided to buy it. And once they've gone to buy it, then they're not going to continue watching. Or they've decided they don't need a vacuum and they've decided to move on. And so we're able to start again. So I hope that helps. 10-hour show. So just to finish that program off, 2 hours of prep prior to going to air, and then I would do my first show, and then you come off air, you've got an hour then to prep your next show, and it's exactly the same thing. You know, have some idea of what I'm going to say at the opening, have some idea what all the main points are, the main reasons to buy it, and then I see the producer, the assistant producer, the director, and then we go see the guests, and off we go. Then we do that show, then we have an hour before to prep for the third show, and then we have an hour to prep for the fourth show, and that's the end of the day. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that's an insight. If you do have any questions about any of this and you think it would be helpful, then feel free to email me. There's tv.presenter@hotmail.com or speakertrainerpro@hotmail.com. Either or. And if you'd like any more information about anything we do, any aspect of this, help with writing a wedding speech, help with presenting on television, help with presenting at work or anything of that nature, then feel free to get in touch. Love to help you out. See you soon. Bye.